Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. The watchers observed the tremor first, an impossible vibration in the foundation of the multiverse. Uatu blinked, stunned, as a dark pulse echoed across the boundaries of realities, not through space or time, but through meaning. In a sector of the omniverse where physics itself wore thin, the light of creation faltered and then flickered out entirely. In the farthest layer of the DC multiverse, orbiting the edges of the source wall, Dr. Manhattan hovered in silence. Naked, blue, ageless, and solemn, he watched the delicate balances of countless realities like a gardener watching his greenhouse. He had stabilized the multiverse once, rebuilt timelines, shaped futures, chosen life where once he would have chosen detachment. But now, something foreign stirred. A ripple unlike any he had seen. Manhattan turned his head slowly toward the direction of the disturbance. Time spoke to him differently than it did to others. He did not see events linearly. He saw now, and now was breaking. Something was digging upward, not through dimensions, but through narrative weight, as if eating through the very idea of existence. And then he heard it. A whisper, so low and buried that it should not exist. You are not the God you believe yourself to be. That voice was not born of stars or timelines. It was something lower, something fundamental, existing not in balance with creation, but in opposition to it. Dr. Manhattan narrowed his glowing white eyes. He had faced time's cruelty, human emotion, even the divine in the form of the presence's echoes. But this was anti-being, an infection of the very concept of life. Meanwhile, in Earth 616, deep below the green door, the boundary between the mortal world and the realm of gamma mutation, Bruce Banner convulsed in a lab in Shadow Base. His eyes turned black for a moment, and when he awoke, he did not speak. He grinned. The monitors shattered, and the scientists around him fell to the floor. Not dead, but hollow. The one below all had taken root again. But this time, something felt different. The being from beneath all things turned its attention beyond its realm. It had consumed gamma souls, corrupted divine avatars, broken celestial barriers, and now it hungered for something new, something unbound by time. Manhattan. In the limbo realms between multiverses, where forgotten stories drifted and abandoned, characters cried out to no one. Dr. Manhattan confronted a storm of green mist. Shapes formed inside it, twisted visages of creatures long corrupted by gamma radiation. The Abomination, Devil Hulk, and countless others marching in a parade of madness. They didn't attack, they screamed, eternally tormented, their souls rewritten. I am all that lies beneath, the mist snarled. I am the scream beneath. Silence, the decay beneath form, the thought beneath madness, and you are a lie dressed in blue.
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
Dr. Manhattan did not speak. He raised his hand and split the gamma storm apart, converting energy to vapor with quantum dispassion. But as the mists parted, a hand larger than dimensions itself reached through a tear in space and touched him, not physically. It touched his essence. For the first time in countless eons, Dr. Manhattan staggered. Within himself, he saw doubt. Not logical uncertainty, but primordial terror, as if the one below all wasn't just an enemy, but an inevitable truth. The concept of end. Seeking answers, Dr. Manhattan pierced through the walls of all realities, seeking counsel from the greatest minds and entities. In the World Forge, he met a dying monitor, whose body was collapsing into story dust. "It's coming, Blue One," the monitor whispered. "It eats not reality, but meaning. It is the final echo, the last silence. Even the endless, death, despair, and destiny refuse to speak of the one below all. Not out of fear, but because to name it was to give it permission. In his search, Manhattan rewound time, not in hours, but in epochs, visiting the first spark of life, the origin of atoms, the song of the first heartbeat in the first cosmos. And even there, in that golden light, a green crack trembled in the distance. Dr. Manhattan made a decision. He descended to below all things, beneath physics, beneath thought, beneath the laws of DC, Marvel, and any other realm. He phased into the lowest hell, where no panels are drawn, where no dialogue boxes exist. There, the one below all waited. It was not a figure, not truly. It was a mass of mouths speaking contradictory truths, a wave of black and green. It bore the shape of 1,000 twisted hulks, and yet was none of them. It was hate that did not need a reason. "You think you are above me, Atom Man, but I am not below you. I am beneath everything." For the first time in his existence, Dr. Manhattan felt his timeline fracture. Possibilities split and broke. His past wavered. Could he still create life? Could he still alter reality? The one below all laughed with 1,000 Hulk voices. "You brought meaning into chaos. I will make you watch as I turn your order into silence." And then it surged. There was no battlefield, only a space beneath all battlefields, where reality wore no skin and time had never been born. Dr. Manhattan stood against the one below all, the darkness that festered beneath creation's bones. No stars illuminated this place, no laws applied here. This was where ideas came to rot. The entity surged forward, a wave of rotting gamma chaos, swirling in tortured faces and collapsing dimensions. Its mass was composed of gods consumed, twisted hulks screaming in silent agony, and dead universes, screaming to live again. It didn't move through space, it drowned it. Dr. Manhattan raised a single hand and blinked, and the wave froze. Atoms halted. Motion ceased. Time buckled beneath his will. "I am not bound by decay," Manhattan said, his voice echoing across layers of collapsing logic. "I am not life. I am not death. I simply am." But then, cracks formed around his glowing body, cracks in logic itself. The one below. All laughed, not with voice, but with the sound of hope dying. It wasn't attacking Manhattan's body, it was corrupting the concept of being. Suddenly, Dr. Manhattan fractured across realities. One version of him disintegrated, consumed by the gamma corruption. Another stood still, entrapped in a recursive loop of time where he watched himself lose again and again. A third found himself mortal again, alone on Mars, bleeding, afraid. The one below all was infecting possibility. "You see it now, don't you?" the entity whispered. "You are order, I am rejection, you are meaning, I am truthless truth." The corrupted hulks surged. They were avatars, twisted forms of every being the one below all had ever touched. Hulk, Scar, She-Hulk, Maestro, Red Hulk, Worldbreaker, Cosmic Hulk. Each roared, each charged, gamma blood dripping like green acid through a collapsing conceptual. Void Dr. Manhattan's fragmented selves began to fade, and then he stopped resisting. He stopped trying to fix time. He stopped rewinding events. He accepted chaos. In a single moment, every version of him merged. Not because he fought back, but because he understood. "You are destruction," he whispered. "But even destruction must follow a path. Even entropy has a pattern." He became quantum uncertainty itself. The corrupted hulks touched him and disintegrated. unable to comprehend a being that existed as all probabilities at once. Time no longer held him, neither did narrative. He became the paradox, the unanswerable question. He became the uncertainty at the center of all science and all divinity. He touched the one below all. And for the first time in eternity, it screamed. Not in anger, in fear. Their forms clashed, not in spectacle, but in principle. Dr. Manhattan reached into the one below all's essence and planted a seed of contradiction, a question the beast had never considered. What if even you serve a purpose? The scream split multiverses, galaxies exploded. In the Marvel cosmos, the specter in the DC realm fell to one knee. The living tribunal turned its head. In the deepest pit, the one below all shrieked, recoiling, not because it was harmed, but because Manhattan had introduced meaning into its meaninglessness. And then, boom, a blast of blue light tore through. The below place. Gamma storms disintegrated, the corrupted avatars shattered. For a single instant, light existed where only darkness had ruled. And then, nothing. Silence. Manhattan floated in a white void. His form was cracked. His glow flickered. He had given too much of himself. Time had not passed, but he had paid. But the one below all, gone, not destroyed, but driven back, sealed once more behind the deepest green door, now layered with paradox and truth. A lock made not of force, but of understanding. He turned his gaze upward, toward reality, toward story, toward life. He whispered, "There is no victory without cost, no God without weakness, no end without beginning." And then he rose. The battle was over. Dr. Manhattan had won, not by brute strength, but by unraveling the very code of nihilism, by planting a spark in the deepest abyss. But behind the door, the one below, all waited, and it was learning.